Welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by ibranson.com. It's the place where you can find all the latest Branson show schedules and attraction information. So be sure to check out ibranson.com. Our guest today is Dalena Ditto with Country Evolution, located at the Hughes Brothers Theater. We look forward to having her back on the show. We will often provide tips on how to make your Branson vacation better. And so today, here's just an example of one of those. Have you seen the Flavor of Branson magazine? Now, if you're in town and you want to know more about Branson's restaurants, this is the most complete guide for dining, and it's free. It's located all over town in racks, and it will help save you money. It'll stretch those vacation dollars further. There's probably about 20 coupons in the back that you can use. So check out the Flavor of Branson. Next year will be the 20th year for this publication in Ozark Mountain Country. Ozark Mountain Christmas is just around the corner, and it goes through the first part of January. What a great time to see Christmas shows, visit Silver Dollar City with over 6.5 million lights, go through a Christmas light drive-through, do some shopping. So plan to visit Branson for Ozark Mountain Christmas and make your reservations now. I do want to give a shout out to Brian from St. Louis. Now, I met him recently, and he told me he enjoyed watching the show. So Brian, thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me know that. We'll be back with Dalena Ditto in just a moment.
Down through the years, there have been those whose voices, when mixed with the warm, sweet sound of fiddles and steel guitars, are unmistakable. With each song they sang, they made their mark in the pages of music history. Now you can experience that history live. Dalena Ditto's Country Evolution takes you back to the humble beginnings where country music began and brings you up to date on the incredible lives of over 60 singers and songwriters who poured their heart and soul into telling the American story, one song at a time. Don't miss Dalena Ditto's Country Evolution. Buy your tickets now at the Hughes Brothers Theater.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, I have Dalena Ditto. Welcome back to the show.
Tongue twister, isn't it?
It is.
Dalena Ditto.
It's been at least a year since you've been here, so welcome back to the show.
Oh, it's great to be back.
You're looking all fancy today.
Well, when you're on stage and you're out promoting, you've got to be, dress the part.
There you go.
That's what I think.
Okay, so maybe somebody's watching. They've never been to Branson. Maybe they haven't ever been to your show. They don't even know who you are, which I can't believe that if they did. But tell people about your musical journey and your history in this business.
Well, I grew up entertaining when I was 3 years old. My folks were entertainers. My dad had been working with Johnny Cash. He'd worked with Minnie Pearl and Patsy Cline, did the Red Foley Show, did the Ozark Jubilee up here in Springfield. He met my mom. She's from Cherryville, Kansas. And together they began singing together, got married. And lo and behold, this precious gem was dropped by a stork. And I started in their show when I was 3 years old. We did about 300 shows a year, sometimes 3 shows a day. And I was pretty much homeschooled until my sister was born when I was about 9 years old. And then I started school, but they would still take me out of school and we'd go on the road and that kind of thing. So long story short, I'm from Iowa, by the way. People say, well, how did that all work?
I was born in Iowa.
You were born in Iowa?
I was.
I didn't know that. Where?
Yeah. Missouri Valley.
No.
Well, Missouri Valley. Little dinky town. Huh?
Well, can't be much smaller than mine. Mine was Guthrie Center, Iowa was where I was born. But I'm from Audubon, Iowa, home of Albert the Bull. Yeah.
I wonder if my mom may have lived there. I don't know.
Really?
I don't
maybe.
know. Some of my relatives, maybe. Anyway.
We might be related. We look alike, don't we?
Never know.
Anyway, so... Well, I went through high school, and I actually tried to get away from singing because, that wasn't cool. So I was an athlete. Went to college, and I had a full ride to go on to a JUCO, but I wanted to go to Iowa State University because it was more fun. And so I went to Iowa State, but my scholarship didn't follow me. So I ended up going on and being a singer. And traveled for Iowa State in it's called the Cardinal Keynotes, which is a jazz kind of group.
So you went going into I'm going to get a degree in performance or music or whatever?
No, I went into journalism, broadcast journalism, And so they had WYTV in Ames, and we also worked in Des Moines. So my first jobs at Iowa State were working at the television station, because my thing was I wanted to be an entertainment on Entertainment Tonight. You remember that show?
Yes.
And I even applied for Oprah. I did. But anyway, long after that, somehow I walked a girl I walked with her down to try out for oratorio choir, and the conductor at the time, he came and said, "I'd like you to step aside, and I want to talk to you after class." I'm like, "Well, I'm not in music. I'm not going to be singing." And he goes, "Oh, yes, you will." And so I ended up singing, studied opera. He had me trained with an opera singer from the Met. He flew her in for 6 months. Julia Faulkner, if you're out there, say hi. And anyway, so I went on and started singing opera and went into Miss Iowa. That was my talent, was opera. But really, it wasn't something that I wanted to continue. And that is that's a field all of its own. So anyway, after college, I decided I wanted to get out of singing, because that's pretty much the only thing I've ever done. Right. And lo and behold, a lady I ran into said, aren't you a singer? I'm like, what is this thing about singing? She goes, you should do what my daughter does. She is a headliner on cruise ships. So I made a phone call, and it was on a Monday. On a Wednesday, I got a phone call, and on Friday, I flew to Puerto Rico, and I joined a cruise ship.
Just like that?
I did. I just went for it. And they had me singing and all of that, and I met my drummer the very first day. I walked past where he was getting his haircut. He worked on the ship, and I was just new. Anyway, he said, you're too good to be on a cruise ship doing this. You need to be a star. Well, that's music to my ears. I love flattery. Anyway, so we went to Nashville, and boy, I could tell you stories. But anyway, I ended up in Nashville for 13 years. And then I was on a cruise ship as a headliner. I'd still go out and do as a headliner. I would come and go from Nashville. And Ron Lair from the Starlight Theater saw me, and he says, "You know what? You need to be in Branson." And I'm like, Branson, Missouri? My folks had honeymooned here on a tour before I was born. So I'd always heard about it, but never had been. And then lo and behold,
So Ron brought you to Branson.
He did.
And then did you performed in one of his theaters at that time?
I did, the Starlight. And then Bill Daly, who used to have Jennifer in the Morning,
yes.
Right? He teamed up with him, and then they promoted me with buses, and I had the band they put together. Ended up being my band for the next 8 years. And
So if I remember correctly, you came to Branson in 2002.
Correct.
Is that right? So 22 years. Now, you haven't necessarily performed all of those 22 years in Branson, right? Because you took some time off, or you went somewhere else, or what?
I did. I had a little boy, and I was just, if you know the entertainment business, the fun part is the performance, right? Everything else around it is marketing. It's business. It's a business, right? So much time was spent on promoting the show that I was missing out on my son growing up. So I took time off, about 4.5 years, and bought a jet ski, and it was about the first time I've ever been on Table Rock Lake. Yeah. I had no idea that this lake was so spectacular. And so anyway, he is now 17, and he had asked me, he said, "Mom, are you ever going to go back and sing?" Because he couldn't remember a lot of what I was. I said, "Well, maybe, if the opportunity presents itself." And it did. It was just like a kind of a gift, I was driving. I had talked to the IMAX Theater. I think I told you this before. And they said, "Yeah, we're looking for new acts." I went down that next Monday, and they liked it, and the rest is history. Now we're at the Hughes Brothers Theater, and it's our second year there and fourth year back doing shows.
So were you at IMAX at the Little Opry 2 years then, and then you moved over to the Hughes, and this is your second year over.
And now we were just named by the Branson Show Awards as Morning Show of the Year.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
It is exciting.
A while back, I talked, and I know there's a couple different award shows, but I want to say it was the guys from the Branson Show Awards. and they literally go see 80, 90 some shows.
I know. They really do.
And there's more than one of them. There's like several of them, because I'm like, I want to understand, like, what are y'all doing? And I'm like, to try and go to that many shows, that's amazing. I mean, that's a lot.
They came to our show. I guess they go to every show once or twice, or at least send 2 teams out. Then they get together and decide who are the nominees, and then they go back to those nominees and watch them again. Mm-hmm. And they take notes the whole time, and they're very dedicated about making sure they get the full view of the show, which I think is great.
Yep. Okay. That's great. That's awesome. We're going to stop here. We're going to come right back with Dalena Ditto, and we're going to talk more about her show, Country Evolution. Hang tight. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meer Hotels. Meer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to malfunction.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels, or visit malfunction.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. malfunction.com. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're here with Dalena Ditto, and she has a show called Country Evolution. It's over at the Hughes Music Theater.
Correct.
Or Hughes Brothers Music Theater. I never know. What is the official is there an official title for the theater?
Really. I don't know. I just say the Hughes Brothers Theater.
There we go, Hughes Brothers Theater. So tell people about your show. Like, what is it? What are they going to get?
Well, there are 6 of us in all. It's not just me. It's the title is Dalena Ditto's Country Evolution. We take people on a ride from basically the early 1920s when country music began, the Bristol sessions. A lot of people see the Ken Burns documentary. It's along that line. Now, I've not seen the whole Ken Burns documentary. I've seen the first one. But from what I can gather, it is very similar. We're kind of a live documentary. So we start in the 20s, and we walk people down to the year 2000. We do 60 different artists, and we cover about 100 years of country music history. And like I said, there are 6 of us. We each take about 10 artists, tell you a fun story, a fun fact, something you might not have ever heard before, and then perform a snippet of the music. And then while that's going on, there's a backdrop, and then also some beautiful scenery on the sides of pictures of the artist. Sometimes I sneak a picture of myself in there with the artist, but it's all done in a sepia tone. I always say it's not to be watched, it's to add color and flavor to it, but it's just a really neat show. If you like country, you are going to love this. It'll take you down memory lane. It'll remind you of where you might jog a memory that where you first heard the song, and it might make you laugh, make you cry. People get up and dance. And if you don't like country, it's funny. We're kind of a goofball mess, kind of Carol Burnett meets country, Mm-hmm. And the boys are funny and talented. We have David Brooks on piano. Of course, he's in the...
David is crazy.
Oh, he's crazy, and he's fabulously talented. He's in $1 Million Quartet as Jerry Lee, and then he's also has his own show, On Fire, as you know. And so he does the Jerry Lee, the Mickey Gilley. He does the John Denver, the Ronnie Millsap, just countless. And then, of course, we have George Geiser from the George Jones and Friends show. He plays fiddle, steel, harmonica. He's very funny with Willie Nelson. And then, of course, we have Rob Wilson, who is Drummer of the Year from the Dutton show. He's funny, and they're all funny. And then, of course, we have Bill Foster on bass, upright. And we try to be very authentic with the music. We don't use any tracks, which it's not perfect, but neither was authentic country. When you went to the Opry, things were perfect, and that's the way we want to be. I like just the raw feeling of what live performance is all about. If something goes wrong, we have a ball with it, right? The audience gets involved. It's just fun.
Well, the audience probably half the time, you guys might know something's wrong. The audience probably don't.
Probably. I mean, nothing that happens is that, dire, but it's still makes a laugh. It opens up an opportunity to go for it and have some fun.
Yeah. So I was at number one hits of the 60s the other day, and Amber had a wardrobe malfunction. And so she's telling the people, I've got a rotor. I'm like, I missed it. I don't know what it was. But as the audience, we didn't see it. But she had to mention it so they could literally cut her out of her,
my goodness,
her wardrobe.
That's hilarious. And I know Amber. She's hilarious.
Yeah, anyway. She's funny.
She is funny.
Anyway, I was like, it wasn't like Janet Jackson. So
no.
So do you change the songs up in the show from year to year?
We do, yeah. Right now we, because I actually have a list, and if people have someone they would really like to see, I have them write it down, and if we get enough of that, then we take someone out and put someone else in.
Okay.
But in the interesting part of this is that most of the artists that we're doing songs by actually have performed on that stage. It's one of the oldest stages in Branson.
Right. So
Tammy Wynette, George Jones, Conway Twitty, Mel Tillis. I mean, it's really amazing. Janie Fricke, just countless stars have been on that stage. So it's kind of like a little Grand Ole Opry, where they have the circle all cut out. And they brought it from the Ryman and put it. That's kind of what it feels like.
I want to capitalize on what you just said, because the reason so many of these people were on that stage is because it was the first stage in Branson that had a national, what we'd call entertainer, and that was Roy Clark. And I think it was back in 1983, maybe? I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so he brought a lot of entertainment to Branson. And so that's how you get all those people
absolutely
on that stage. It was
and that's how Mickey Gilley came here. He didn't really want to come visit, and I've heard the story over and over. He would tell me, I thought, why would I want to go to that little middle of nowhere? Well, he showed up because Roy and Mel had said, hey, I think you're going to like it. He got there, and it surprised him that he walked out to a full house. He was just shocked. He goes, where are these people coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell people days of the week you perform and time.
Okay, we're at 10 a.m. It's a morning show. Like I said, we're morning show of the year. And we're at the Hughes Brothers Theater. And it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in November and December. Yep.
And you in December 13th or 12th, somewhere right around in there.
Right.
So you guys, if you're going to go Christmas, she's not going to have a show that day. So what about, can you tell us 2025? Are you going to be back? Do you know?
Yes. Everything is just changing the show up. We're going to do some more road gigs and road dates out there. We've had a lot of people ask if we would travel. So that's something we're going to try to fit in, as well as doing regular shows at the theater.
Okay. Anything I missed?
Just come to the show. It's a fun show. If you don't like me, come see the band, because they are fantastic. I hear it every day. That is the best band I've heard. And I have to agree. Now, here's the deal, folks. I always try and do my research ahead of time. And last night I went to TripAdvisor and I looked at all the reviews, and 5-star, every one of them was a 5-star or 5 circles or whatever you want to call it. And they were all amazing reviews about your show. Great. So that's what people are saying. They love the show. They love the country music. They said you did a great job. They liked you. You're very personable. And so do you go out and greet people afterwards? Absolutely. Before and at intermission and afterwards. We're very hands-on. The whole band comes out. And we enjoy it. I really do. That's the fun. That's the reason we even do the show, is for the people. And I want to keep country music, the history of it, because it is the story of America. We dedicate all of our shows to our veterans. I used to work on cruise ships, like we said. And I know every time I step back into the United States, whether it be Atlanta, Los Angeles, from somewhere overseas, I was very proud to be an American, and I'm very thankful to be an American. And so this show is all about America. It really is a unique art form, and we tell America one song at a time. And it's through the art of country music. Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking, is there any other show besides yours that it's a female headliner? And I think you're the only female headliner in Branson. Am I wrong? No, C.J. Newsom. C.J. Mm-hmm. And then the new Fairy Tales. Okay. I think she is kind of new. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
I was trying.
Out and see us girls.
Yeah, I got to go see that. And I noticed you have a lot of merchandise that say something about girls on them.
I do. Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls. Yes. So, folks, if you like girl merchandise, now you also sell this lipstick you're wearing, right?
I do. It's called Glitz Lips by Dalena. It was actually my dad's idea. So many people would stop me when we would be out together, like to have dinner or, go shopping. They'd say, "Hey, where'd you get that lipstick? Where'd you get that lipstick?" And he says, "You might have something there. You ought to look into getting that patented." So I did, and then people were asking if I had red only, and they're like, "Do you do pink?" So now I have pink. But yeah, it's I sell more lipstick than anything ever.
There you go.
It's called Glitz Lips. We do pink or red, and it stays on like glue, by the way. So
folks, you want some of our lipstick? Go to our show, and you can buy it during intermission.
Definitely.
Or after or before or whatever.
Check out the website. It's called countryevolution.net, not .com.
Okay, folks, go check out Dalena. You got a little bit of time before the end of the season. Check out that morning show, 10 o'clock, Hughes Music Theater out there on West 76 Country Boulevard, just past Andy's Frozen Custard. So we'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up.
Down through the years, there have been those whose voices, when mixed with the warm, sweet sound of fiddles and steel guitars, are unmistakable. With each song they sang, they made their mark in the pages of music history. Now you can experience that history live. Dalena Ditto's Country Evolution takes you back to the humble beginnings where country music began and brings you up to date on the incredible lives of over 60 singers and songwriters who poured their heart and soul into telling the American story, one song at a time. Don't miss Dalena Ditto's Country Evolution. Buy your tickets now at the Hughes Brothers Theater.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We've been talking with Dalena Ditto with Country Evolution. Now, in November, you can find Dalena's show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 10 a.m., the 5th through the 21st of November, and then again from December 3rd through the 12th on those same dates, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m., over at 3425 West 76 Country Boulevard. That's at the Hughes Music Theater, the Hughes Brothers Theater. Now, if you need help planning your Branson vacation, be sure to visit ibranson.com or call 1-877-ENTERTAIN. You can find the latest show schedules, attraction, and lodging options all on ibranson.com. And there's still time to get here before the end of the season. Now, if you have been watching us for a while and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, why not? Go to YouTube and subscribe to PlayBranson, or you can find us on Facebook or thevacationchannel.com. Support your local musician this week by going to see a live performance. That's it for today. We'll see you next week here on PlayBranson.